Reg, how are you this morning?
Theodore, how are you and my awesome Danette?
We've been watching a lot of basketball. I've been flipping around, and I don't know if I'm watching great basketball, but I am. It's interesting basketball right now. So what is the headline so far from the first couple of weeks of the season?
Number one, injuries. Jeremy Lin, obviously, last week I called twice in about the Gordon Hayward injury.
Yeah.
Chris Paul out 2 to 4 weeks because of the knee injury. I think trying to get to the finish line is probably going to be first and foremost. I know we're only a week and change into the season, but we've had significant injuries. I don't know if it's because we had less training camp time because the season was moved up to kind of shorten the back-to-backs. Maybe guys aren't in as great a shape as they normally would be. But injuries first and foremost probably come to mind, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. I know people say you can't win an MVP in the first month, but you could sure make a case about it. And Antetokounmpo has gotten the Bucks off to a great start, as well as himself, for an early season MVP candidate.
Can he shoot, Reg? Because I watched last night. I didn't see him shoot a jumper, and he still ended up with, I think, 32 points.
He's an opportunistic three-point shooter.
Okay.
And, again, this is easier said than done, but he can get anywhere he wants on the floor because of his length. You know, at 7 feet and, those long strides in dribbling the basketball, 1-2 dribbles, he's already at the rim. So my question is, does he really have to shoot? And if you're defending the Bucks and Giannis, you've got to obviously make him shoot that jump shot.
Yeah.
But when you can't stop him and he's one dribble and he's at the rim, it's very difficult to do that.
Explain to me the Dwayne Wade situation with Cleveland, where he's taken himself out of the starting lineup, and he says, I'll be on the second team coming in.
I think a smart move by Dwayne. I thought all along him coming to the Cavaliers, personally, him playing on the second unit is going to help the Cavs. I know throughout his career, Hall of Fame career, first ballot, arguably probably the top 3 or 4 shooting guard ever. But at this point in his career, coming off the bench serves the Cavs better because, number one, he'll get more shots, he'll get more touches, he can run that second unit. And if people are thinking that we're going to see the Dwayne Wade that we saw in Miami for so many years, that time is somewhat past him. He's still good, but on that second unit, running with Tristan Thompson, Kyle Korver, I think it's a much better fit for Dwayne. He's not going to be able to get those same shots in that starting unit with Kevin Love and LeBron James. I think the game is just a little bit too fast for him. Not to say he's not going to play down the stretch. I think he will. But I just think him coming off the bench, eventually this was going to happen regardless, I thought. I was surprised that he was starting opening night, maybe because it was opening night. But I just think it's a better fit for him to come off the bench for the Cavs.
By the way, Reg will be calling Celtics and the Bucks coming up Thursday night at 8 Eastern on TNT. The Phoenix situation is interesting. How does Earl Watson get fired 3 games in? Eric Bledsoe doesn't want to be there. And how did they get to this situation? This point?
Well, number one, it's unfortunate because the coach is always usually the first to go. And a lot of times you've got to start pointing fingers at the players because the players got to play the games. And it was, the worst opening night loss in NBA history versus Portland. And remember, C.J. McCollum was suspended that game and didn't even play for the Trailblazers. And you have the worst opening night loss ever at home. So the coach is always the first to fall on the sword. But look, I'm not surprised at Eric Bledsoe because there was question. First of all, the Phoenix Suns really didn't want to give him that money a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And I think it went up to the last hour with Bledsoe's lawyer and agent, as well as management of the Phoenix Suns, and they got a deal done. But I don't think he's really been fully committed to the Phoenix Suns all along. So here we are. And I'm sure there's a number of suitors, especially with, we talked about the injuries. We're hearing Clippers, we're hearing Denver, we're hearing the Cavs. Obviously, he's close friends with LeBron James. They share the same agent in Rich Paul. So we're hearing a lot of suitors, but it can't be an impulse. You got to be sure you get something for him if you're going to trade him away.
Lonzo Ball, we've seen good and we've seen bad, and now he's got John Wall coming up. There's already been some back and forth with Twitter here. How long does it last where he has that bullseye on his back?
I think it's going to be all year. But when did all this Twitter be? Why does everything got to be played out over Twitter now?
I don't know.
What happened to it being played out between the lines, Theodore?
I don't know.
Everything has got to be a story on Twitter now. This is getting ridiculous. And look, you and I talked about this while he was at UCLA. As much as his dad shows that support, he's put the biggest bullseye on Lonzo as well as his sons. And it's one thing to be bravado and to say outrageous things. I get it. But these point guards, and that's today's NBA is driven by point guards. You've got to be successful. You've got to have a great point guard. This league is driven by elite point guards that are coming after this dude. And Patrick Beverley, he stated that. And John Wall is one of those guys who plays with a chip on his shoulder. So every night he's going to have the bullseye. He just has to go out and play. Hopefully Pops, I hate saying that because we give him a platform.
Yep.
But Pops just needs to let his kid just play. He's going to make mistakes, and we've seen the good, the bad. You know what that's called? It's called being a rookie. It's called being a rookie. It's going to happen.
If you can invest in Ben Simmons or Lonzo Ball, given that both guys playing point, similar, not great shooters, although Lonzo's better than Ben, but who would you invest in if they were stocks?
Do I get to form the team after that?
No, you're starting your team with Lonzo or Ben.
Wow. I'm probably going to go with Ben Simmons because I have the size, too. He can play 1 through 4 in today's NBA. And, Simmons is kind of a harken back to that Magic Johnson, Penny Hardaway type point guard where you have size at the point and you can look over the defense.
Yeah.
You can play him at point forward as well, a la Scottie Pippen, Grant Hill. He's a walking triple-double. The key is going to be health. People say this is his rookie year. He probably will end up winning Rookie of the Year, but I don't like to say that because this is his second year. And he was around NBA players, NBA talent, NBA trainers, so he's not really a rookie because he's been in the system already a year. But he will probably end up winning Rookie of the Year after missing last year because of the injury.
Why is it guys can't shoot free throws?
What have you seen Markelle Fultz,
yes.
the number 1 pick?
Yes.
That is horrible. How can that happen from a number 1 pick and a guard? I can see big men because they have big hands and they're just uncomfortable. But there is no excuse for Andre Robertson of Oklahoma City, for Markelle Fultz, for Rajon Rondo. There is no excuse for guards not to shoot at least 70+% from the free throw line.
But
there's no excuse.
I know Fultz is bothered by his shoulder, but I watch him play, and I'm going, I'm waiting for something. I'm waiting for, Markelle Fultz to act like he would be the best player in the draft or the number 1 pick here, and I haven't seen it yet. Why is that?
I'm going to go with I hope his shoulder is the thing that's causing him to shoot free throws like that. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, Theodore, because if it's not, those are terrible mechanics he has, and he needs to go back to the drawing board for the overall number 1 pick to shoot free throws like that. That's not a good look. It really isn't, and I know they've been trying to manipulate it and change it while he's been in Philadelphia, but that is not a good look.
Yeah, you watch and you go, I never saw this in college. And maybe
no, at all.
Right? I didn't see it. And then all of a sudden you go, wait, what happened to you?
Well, remember, he didn't play in Summer League. He got hurt, first game?
Yeah.
So he's been under wraps. What is the deal? What's in the water in Philadelphia? Embiid is not even cleared to play back-to-back games.
He looks good, though, when he plays, Reg. Gosh.
He
Man.
does. You know what I like about Joel Embiid? He is talking noise to all the sinners. I mean, that's a throwback. He goes at Hassan Whiteside.
I know.
He just played Detroit and said Andre Drummond doesn't play defense. I love it. Where's the competition? Stop all the hugging and let's go have dinner after the game. This dude is talking noise. That's why I like him. He doesn't back down, and he talks noise to the other sinners.
Did you ever hug anybody? Like, how much would you?
You dap and you give that fake bro hug like right before jump ball, but you don't hold the hug. It's less than half a second. Less than half a second.
Yeah, I watched what the Cavs did with Kyrie, and I'm thinking this dude didn't want to play with you guys, and everybody's waiting in line like it's a wedding reception to do their special handshake. I didn't like it at all.
Well, that's a little different.
No, he didn't want to play with you.
He did. He didn't, but for the fact he helped win the championship with you and went to 3 straight NBA finals. So there's a little bit of history there. What I'm talking about is guys that you may be with the same agency or just all AAU teammates when you were 12 years old, hugging it out when you're 25. No.
You can't.
But a guy that's played, but for the fact he hit the biggest shot in Cavs history now. Come on, they should be dapping him up.
What did you make when Magic and Isaiah kissed?
That was in, 89? Right? They went to the finals in 88 and 89.
Yeah.
So it's one of those 2 years where the kiss happened, right?
Yeah.
I mean, childhood friends, right? I never would have kissed Michael Jordan, but okay. Could you see me trying to lean in?
Oh, my God.
MJ? Oh, man, I wouldn't have a job today.
How about Patrick Ewing? Or if you did that to Larry Bird.
Yeah. What if I did that to John Starks? Come here, John. Lean in here, baby.
Well, no, I could see you doing that. I could see you doing that.
Yeah,
I could see you.
You know what?
You would have messed. Right. You would have messed with John Starks. Come here, John.
Come here, baby.
Are you going to the Dodgers? Are you going to the World Series at all?
You know where my allegiance.
No, I know. That's right.
Runs.
You're an angel. You're always an angel
fan.
You're an angel fan.
Good luck to them. I hope they do well. I really don't care about it because it's the Dodgers. But, it's like the Nationals and the Orioles. It's like the Mets and the Yankees. I grew up. I was a half hour away. My brother played for the Angels. I'm a diehard Angel fan. I know the buzz around here is Dodgers. That's just not me. I'm loyal, people. That's the problem.
I thought you might go just to be seen, though.
No, I've never. No. Magic keeps trying to get me to sit in his box with him. So, out of respect to my mentor, I would go because I love me some Magic Johnson. But I just can't go just to be seen. If that's the case, I'm going to go hang out with the big baller himself, LeVar Ball, at the Laker game.
I can't see that happening either.
No, that would not happen.
Reg will be calling the Celtics and the Bucks Thursday night on TNT at 8 Eastern. Reg, safe travels. Great talk to you. Talk to you next week.
Theodore, you are truly the best. Danettes, I love y'all.
Thanks, Reg.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.